It's often hard to know you're at a turning point in history until well after the corner has been turned. Those on the ground floor of collision repair already see change on the horizon. One thing that I find interesting from looking at sales trends is that EV sales seem to be seeing less of a reduction during the pandemic. Jeff Pabst, general manager of Pfaff Auto Works in Vaughan, Ontario, expects EVs to make up a considerable portion of his business in the near future. We're anticipating somewhere in the neighborhood of 20 to 30% of the cars that we repair in the next 3 to 5 years will be EVs. For Pabst and many others who are starting to see more EVs popping up in their shops, the priority is getting safety guidelines established across the board for OEMs. One thing that is definitely a carryover from when we look at traditional combustion engine vehicles to EVs is how different each OEM is approaching EVs from a technical standpoint, said Mark Milson, Director of Operations at Excellence Auto Collision in Toronto. Even in the most basic safety procedures, technicians are receiving mixed messages from OEMs on how to safely repair their technology. On the procedure to fully disconnect the high-voltage battery, Milson said every OEM has a different procedure on how this needs to happen and what steps need to be followed. This already frustrating fact becomes all the more so given that technicians are more than capable of complex work with semi-electrified vehicles, as evidenced by years of work on hybrids, and that if a standard was set among OEMs, electric vehicle repairs could in fact be simpler than their ICE predecessors. All these cars become more mainstream and more are on the marketplace, of course the cost of R&D and technology will go down, just due to more mass production. Right now, I think the two limiting factors are probably price points and what consumers consider range anxiety. We have cars now that are in excess of 600 kilometers on a single charge, which is right at what an F-150 gets for fuel mileage, as we continue to prove in the market that EVs are becoming competitive, said Milson. For now, shops like Pfaff Auto Works and Excellence Auto are working hard to stay ahead of the 8-ball for when this automotive arms race finally comes to a head, keeping an eye on everything the EV market has to offer in the coming years. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to check out collisionrepairmag.com for more industry news.